Hello everybody, it's Fufu here, and welcome to another Why You Should Use video with my buddy John. Today we're going to be talking about Alolan Sandslash. Sandslash got all spiced up in this new game and it's looking very, very mean. But before we go into that anymore, there's going to be a very special video on John's channel, isn't there?
Yes, there is. We're going to be talking about another Alolan Pokemon on my channel, and that is going to be Alolan Raichu. Very cool Pokemon. I'm very excited about the changes they made to Raichu in this new game, but today we got to focus on Sandslash first.
Design.
I think the design really works here. Sandslash looks meaner and sturdier, and that's exactly how it should look, living in such a harsh environment. It needs to be meaner and stronger to survive.
Its dex entry says this Pokemon's steel spikes are sheathed in ice. Stabs from these spikes cause deep wounds and severe frostbite as well. And that is one of the cooler dex entries I've ever seen. I really love the design, and I love how they actually made it so like steel and ice were together in this one thing. I don't know, I really like it. It looks very intimidating, and after reading this, I do not want to mess with Alolan Sandslash.
Typing and stats.
Alolan Sandslash is Ice Steel, which is really cool, like literally. But it's unique, so that's nice. We haven't seen this typing before, and it's always good to have new typings. Defensively, it's got some good resistances, but unfortunately, it is now quad weak to fighting and fire, which aren't too uncommon, really, so that is a bit of a drawback. But it does have some nice resistances there. Quad resistance to ice is always nice, and it does resist dragon and fairy, which are some things that people like to spam, so very good resistances. Offensively, it's good, but it can struggle with water and steel types with its stabs, so hopefully it'll get some good coverage for those.
When you look at its stats, it's mostly the same as regular Sandslash, but they actually made some really nice changes. They took 20 away from special attack, which is just completely useless. You're never going to use this thing on the special side, and gave 10 to defense and 10 to special defense, making the special defense a little bit less terrible. Still going to die to Ember, but not as bad as it was. And now its defense is really, really good. 120, not something to mess with, especially on a Steel-type Pokemon. It's pretty decent attack with 100, you know, pretty okay-ish 75 HP. And its speed, 65, isn't amazing, but it definitely has something that will make up for that speed.
Ability.
Alolan Sandslash ability is Snow Cloak, which is not too great. When the hail's up, you get an evasion boost. It relies on luck a bit and doesn't add too much to the Pokemon, but its hidden ability is a new ability called Slush Rush, which is really nice. It doubles Sandslash's speed in hail that turns Sandslash into a hail sweeper, and that is really, really nice. So as John said, its speed isn't too great to begin with, but in this hail it becomes super fast, and that is really, really nice.
Moves.
Looking at Alolan Sandslash's moves, it's completely different than regular Sandslash, and I love that. It's completely fresh, it's new, it obviously has the stabs that you'd expect from Ice and Steel, Icicle Crash and Iron Head. It also still has EQ, which is really nice coverage, so I'm happy about that. Swords Dance remained, which is great, so it can set up and hopefully sweep a team. Well, maybe not hopefully if it's on the other team, but if it's on your team, definitely will help it sweep if hail is up. And you do have the Slush Rush ability. It does have hail, so it can auto set that up itself, which is great. There's also Leech Life. I mean, you know, not stab bug coverage isn't amazing, but a lot of people are really excited about Leech Life, so Leech Life, get excited about it, everybody. But sadly, it does not have Rapid Spin. That was one of the things that really made Sandslash great, so hopefully, you know, Slush Rush and these new stabs will be enough to carve out a nice little niche for Alolan Sandslash.
Set idea.
So with this Alolan Sandslash set, we've given it a Life Orb and that Slush Rush ability and made it into a Hail Sweeper. And it will need some team support for this because we haven't given it Hail itself. So the nature's going to be Jolly with 240 speed. This allows it to outspeed Scarfed Garchomp in the hail. That's really important because Scarfed Garchomp is kind of common at the moment, but if you don't want to go that fast, you can make it Adamant and take some speed away just so that it outspeeds Pheromosas, because that's probably the next fastest thing that you would want to outspeed. But because Garchomp has super effective stab against it, it would be kind of annoying if you're trying to sweep and the Garchomp just takes you out. So yeah, it's going to have Icicle Crash, Iron Head and EQ for coverage. Ice ground coverage with Icicle Crash and EQ is very, very powerful. There are very few things that resist that, and hopefully Iron Head can cover for other things and just to get some super effective stab against things that are weak to that Iron Head. And then the final move there is SD, which really boosts Sandslash's offenses and makes it very, very scary. So obviously you'd want to pair this up with a Hail setup, probably Alolan Ninetales with the Icy Rock to keep the Hail up and around for longer. And I really like this set. Even then, you don't actually have to rely on the Hail, but if you just outspeed some walls and things, you might be able to break those walls just with the powerful Life Orb attacks that Sandslash can throw out there. Outside of this set, it's kind of limited because it doesn't get too many other move options, but hopefully if it does get tutors in the future, it will get access to Stealth Rock, which will give it another nice little niche, but that's all really. So yeah, that's all we have for Sandslash today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope we've given you reason to use Sandslash, but outside of that, please go and watch John's video on Alolan Raichu, another really cool Pokemon, another Pokemon that can get a speed boost through its ability, so these two are definitely linked. But all that's left to be said is I've been Fufu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.